welcome. Thank you so much for buying Mama Rush's gluten-free brownie mix. What we're going to do today is, because I know sometimes gluten-free baking, especially at home, can be a little bit intimidating, especially if you're just getting started on this journey. So we're going to go step by step on how to make the brownies. So let's go ahead and get started. So obviously you're going to need 1 bag of the brownie mix. All the directions are on the back so you can follow along with me. 2 eggs. We'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We have a 1/2 cup of canola oil. Now you can use olive oil or another type of vegetable oil. I've always just used canola oil, but that's really up to you. And then 2 tablespoons of water. Okay, so normally what I do, just to make sure everything is really mixed together, because that's really the key important aspect of all the gluten-free baking, is make sure it's really blended very well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to add our wet ingredients into the mixer. I prefer using a stand mixer. If you want to use a hand mixer, you can go ahead and do that. But this way really make sure everything gets mixed together really well. So we got our vanilla there. I just put eggs and vanilla. Add our oil. 2 tablespoons of water. Okay. Also, what you're gonna want to do is preheat your oven to 350, so that's ready to go when we are done mixing. So we've got our mix here. I'm just gonna pour all the contents into the mixing bowl. Okay, put it down. So as far as the mixing goes, one of the important thing is usually I use kind of a rule of thumb is mix it on high for like 2 minutes. You just want to make sure everything is really well incorporated. So I'm starting out kind of low here. It's going to be really thick as far as the batter. So I'm going to turn it up here so we can get that thick. While that is mixing, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grease our pan. So you can use a non-stick spray, or you can use shortening and flour, whatever you do to keep your stuff from sticking. I'm going to use a 9x9 pan. You can also use like an 11x7 or some other type of, shaped pan. You don't want it huge, but if you use a 9x9 or like 11x7, you're going to get your 12 2x2 brownies out of the mix, which is what this will yield. It's kind of halfway in between. What I like to do is I like to scrape down the sides, and it is going to be really thick and gooey, okay? Batters are very different when they're gluten-free versus just regular batters. So I like to scrape it down. You just want to make sure all the ingredients are off the sides so everything gets incorporated really well. So once we've got that mixed, and again, you want to do a good 2 minutes, okay? So it may not seem like 2 minutes on the video that I'm doing here, but you definitely want to do 2 minutes to make sure you get all those sugars and all that stuff mixed in really well. Okay, we're going to take our batter and we're going to scoop it in here. So as you can see, it is super thick. So I always just try to, as I'm scooping it out, to kind of evenly put it in the pan, because you are going to want to use your spatula, or sometimes I use my hands with water to spread it out real evenly so that you get nice and even brownies. Got that in here. So again, we're just going to make sure we spread it out. You want to get it real smooth, get it in the corners. Okay, so it is ready to go in the oven. And believe it or not, I magically baked a batch earlier today. So this is what it's going to look like as you put it in. Okay, really thick. We've got it spread out there. So then your finished result here, you can kind of see, and I used an 11x7 dish earlier, so again, I just did mine a little bit more elongated, or you can use the 9x9, either way. One thing that I like to do with my brownies is I use a cookie cutter. So you can use like a square one, you can find these at any type of shop, but it just makes it kind of look a little bit nicer. So I put that down in there like that, pops out, got a wonderful brownie. So with this size, you'll get 6 out of this pan, and I just cut them in half, and that's a great serving size. You're going to want to bake this when you put it in. I forgot to mention this. 25 to 30 minutes. Ovens are different, so make sure you're looking at it and reading the directions on the back. It's going to be a little gooey if you put a toothpick in, not completely clean, okay? Definitely want to bring them out, make sure they cool completely before you try to cut them, or it's a big gooey mess, okay? If you want them hot, just nuke them in the microwave afterwards for that. But that's brownies for you. Thank you.